friends, it's Adam at Arcade Galactic for our latest rare game showcase. And this time we're taking a look at one that's quite rare because this was never officially released. It was finished pretty much. I mean, they probably could have made some last minute changes to it, but they didn't because they couldn't find somebody that was willing to publish it. And so only 42 of these, the act, an interactive comedy, happen to exist. Now 40 of those were designed as a computer kit that came with the artwork and a spinner knob. Unfortunately, the spinner, we've been using a trackball for years because the original spinner that this came with just burned out by itself. And then the replacement we got for it burned out too, and so that was a little frustrating. But we just tried to use the trackball because this cabinet itself was a Beachhead 2000 cabinet, and it came with the trackball already. And so here's where you can see the spinner, what that was supposed to look like originally, and it worked. So we've had it like that for a long time. I'd still like to get a spinner working on it again. I just need to try one of the modern ones and see what happens. But anyways, this game, as you've been kind of seeing here, if the art looks like a Disney cartoon, that's because the company who developed this, their name was Cecropia. They hired several ex-Disney animators back when Disney was basically getting rid of all their old school animator guys and replacing them with CG artists. And so that's why this looks a lot like a Disney cartoon, even though it's not officially or technically a Disney production. But again, the game was designed by a company called Cecropia. They were based out of Massachusetts. This was the only piece of software that they ever attempted to develop. And what it is like, I like to call it kind of a more interactive Dragon's Lair. And so with the spinner being your control, and where this used a hard drive instead of a laser disc, the level of animation that it was able to do is far more realistic and far more along the lines of an actual interactive cartoon, as opposed to what Dragon's Lair and all those early Laserdisc games were able to do. And so the direction that you push you would rotate the spinner, also the intensity would affect your emotional response to any one of the scenes, and it's different for each one. And it ends up having a lot of hilarious things. Like, it's not just saying that this is actually a pretty amusing game, and lots of different ways to see what happens depending on your reaction to each scene. Like this one right here is actually the very first scene that's in the game, where you're trying to woo the lady who, so you play as Edgar. He's a window washer, and in the first scene he has this fantasy when he sees the hot nurse in the hospital of putting him and her in the old scene of Casablanca, and you have to woo her and off her feet to go on a dance with you or something. And so, but that's a great way to kind of show you how the spinner works. But again, there are different situations where there will be different effects. But again, the more that you spin it, the more intense the reaction is from Edgar, the movements. And so usually you don't want to move too far, too fast. The most difficult scene in this one is when you're in the hospital and you have to do the Heimlich maneuver. And so that's where the spinner was easier to use on that one. It's possible to get past it on the trackball, but it's very difficult. But if you can defeat this game, if you can reach the end of this comedy, then you can win a badge as well as your photo with the game. But again, this one is very, very rare. I've only heard of one other arcade, maybe two, out there that has this on location. The one that I know for sure that's had it out is Arcade Odyssey down in Miami, Florida. So you're not going to find this anywhere else in Utah or close, as far as I'm aware. I mean, there might be some collectors out in California that had the game, but other than that, yeah, there just wasn't a whole lot of them out there. And also a very unique game for arcades. Doesn't have any scoring system or leaderboards or anything like that, so it's more just about going through the experience, seeing what different situations arise from the comedic setups, and just see where it goes. And always fun to come back to and play again if you haven't. But that's The Act, an interactive comedy, which is part of our indie games row. Everything that we have next to it would also be rare, but I'll cover those in coming weeks. But thanks for watching this one. Come on in to the Valley Fair Mall at Arcade Galactic. We're down near JCPenney on the northern end of the mall, and you can enjoy this. It's only 50 cents to play, which I think is a pretty awesome deal for this super, super rare game that you're not going to find anywhere else. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video.